Right, welcome to part 2 of Mahopanishad. Mahopanishad, translation in English, part 2. We start here, chapter 3. The world is born only to die and dies only to be reborn. All the actions of the moving and unmoving things are ephemeral. Things such are sources of splendor, are sinful, and give place to all calamities, unconnected with each other, like iron stakes. They come together only by mental fancy. I have lost taste in various things. Like a traveler in deserts, my mind is tormented as to how this suffering will die down. Riches please me not, but give only cycles of worries, just as houses with children and women cause danger. This glory in the world is delicate, causes only delusion, does not give happiness. Life is unsteady like a drop of water hanging onto the top of a tender leaf. Like an insane person, it goes away, leaving the body suddenly. Life causes strain to those whose mind is shattered by contact with the poison from the snake of worldly objects, and who lack mature discrimination of the self. It is reasonable, that is, it's even possible, to envelop wind and to cut into empty space, to string together watery waves, but not give up attachment to worldly life. In contrast, by attaining Brahman, what is to be got is got, which causes no grief. It is the place of highest joy. Even trees, so do animals and birds. Only he really lives, whose mind is sustained by contemplation. The others who have no spiritual rebirth are only old donkeys. Shastra is a burden to one who lacks spiritual discrimination. Knowledge is a burden to one attached to life. Mind is a burden to one without security. Body is a burden to one ignorant of the self. From ego does danger arise, so do bad mental ailments and desire. There is no enemy more dangerous than ego. Whatever in the moving and unmoving world was enjoyed by ego, all that is unreal. Only freedom from ego is real. The mind runs hither and thither in vain and with zeal, like a dog in the village. O Brahman, I have been made inert by the pursuit of thirst and eaten by my mind as by a dog. Containment of the mind is impossible even by drinking up the ocean, uprooting Meru and causing and eating fire. Mind is the cause of objects. When it exists, the three worlds exist. When it does not, so do they. So, it should be cured with effort. Whatever wealth of merit I acquire, that thirst, that is the desire, cuts down like a mouse cutting a string. Thirst is a fickle monkey. It sets foot in impassable places, hankers after fruits even when filled with them, never rests long in a place. throat is a bee in the lotus heart. One moment it goes to Patal, another the sky, another it hovers in the bush of space. Of all the griefs of worldly life, only thirst gives the longest grief. A person well guarded in the harem it involves in great trouble. Abandonment of brooding is the preventive chant for the cholera of thirst, that is desire. There is nothing as pitiable as body, low and meritless. It exults over a little and suffers over a little. The body is the great abode of the householder, that is the ego. Let it roll about or be steady. What is it to me, O preceptor? This body pleases me not. The senses are bound by the 6 ropes in its yard. Ego leaps about. It is crowded with the servants. The mind. It is frightening with the entrance held by the monkey. In it are seen the teeth and bones. Tell me what is attractive in the body which is made of blood and flesh, in and out, which is only to perish. Let him trust the body who sees steadiness in lightnings, autumn clouds, and cities in the sky. That is illusions. Childhood is the abode of the fear from teacher, mother, father, other people, and older children. One is overwhelmed by the goblin of lust which exists in the cave of one's mind and causes many delusions. Slaves, sons, women, relatives and friends laugh at a man shaken by old age as at a madman. Desire is full of defect of helplessness, grows long in old age, the sole friend of all danger. The attribution of happiness to worldly life, even this is cut by time like grass or hay or something else of that sort, dried grass, by a rat. Time tries to possess selfishly everything from grass and dust to Indra and gold, which is the dust of Meru, destroys all, and all the 3 worlds are occupied by it. What is auspicious about woman? A puppet of flesh, moved by a machine in the cage of the body, having nerves, bones, and knots. So the word woman is really used here as a synonym for sexual desire or a sexual object. Why are you deluded? Separate the skin, flesh, blood and tears and then look at the body. Is it attractive? The pearl necklace on the breast is like the current of Ganga on Meru. The same breast is eaten by dogs at the due time like a lump of food in the cemetery and corners off the directions. Women are the flame of sin, have the suit of hair pleasing to the eye, but not to be touched. Not to be touched. They burn man like grass. Again, hay or some dried grass or leaves or bhusa and stuff. Women are the fuel, lovely, yet harmful, of the fires of all blazing at a distance, whether they have taste, that is attachment, or not. Women are the traps to catch the birds, which is men, spread by the hunter, that is Manmatha. The lump of bait, the string of wickedness to men who are the fish in the pond of birth, that is life, and moving in the mud of mind. I will have none of this woman who is the basket of all defects, the chain of misery. Giving up women means giving up the world. By this one shall be happy. And that was the end of the 3rd chapter, and here begins the 4th chapter. Control of inner and outer senses, enquiry, contentment, and the 4th, contact with good people, resort to one at least of these things, giving up everything. With all effort, when one is achieved, the others are also achieved. If you do achieve every moment the avoidance of the sustained fancy and desire, then you will have reached the sacred mindless state. Samadhi is said to be the freedom of the mind from agency, that is activity. That itself is oneness, which is the highest and most auspicious joy. You should remain like a dumb, blind, and deaf person, giving up with your mind the thought of all things as the self. All the visible things in the world are nothing more than the consciousness without vibration. Contemplate this. A wise person should enquire fully, what am I? How did this blemish of samsara develop? Riches do not help, nor friends, nor kinsmen, nor the strain of the body, nor resorting to sacred waters and temples, but only through the conquest of the mind is that condition reached. All the miseries, hankerings, unbearable mental pain are lost in people with a calm mind, like darkness in the sun. All creatures subside, that is, attain calmness in a serene person, like children mischievous or soft in their mother. Not by drinking elixirs, nor by the embrace of wealth does a person get so much joy as inner peace. This bears repeating. Not by drinking elixirs, nor by the embrace of wealth does a person get so much joy as by inner peace. He is said to be a serene person who does not exult or feel depressed on hearing, touching, eating, seeing, and knowing the good or the bad. The mind, whose mind is not agitated, clear like a moon's disk in death, festival as well as battle. Only the serene person shines among ascetics, knowers, sacrifices, kings, men of strength and of virtue. The calm persons are great, who have attained contentment with the drink of Amrita and delight in the self. He is the contented one who gives up longing for what is not got and is even towards what is got. That is, he doesn't sort of go out of his mind when he gets what he wants, and is even towards what is got, not seeing, that is, ignoring grief and joy, who does not admire what is not got. Remember, this is a big problem for us all human beings. We want what we do not have. That is why the word want means what you don't have. Like you say, he is wanting in good sense. Therefore, we desire what we do not have. We desire what we want. So, like he says here, the author says in Mahopanishad, and I start again from the beginning of this para. He is the contented one who gives up longing for what is not got and is even towards what is got, not seeing or ignoring grief and joy, who does not admire what is not got, enjoys according to desire what is actually got. So you're not asked not to enjoy what you get. So enjoy that what you actually get. So enjoys according to desire what is actually got and is benign in his conduct. It's very important that we look at this, because today we find so many so-called religious people who are so malignant. All they can ever do is malign someone else or spread hate towards someone else, or even hurt them physically, sometimes even killing them. This is not the making of a contented man. This is not the making of one who follows dharma. This is not the making of one who follows the deen, the religion. This is not. It's extremely important, as we see here, to be benign in your conduct. And Upanishad is really for everyone, no matter what religion you were born into. My family, I was born in a Muslim family. I still carry a Muslim name. People still see me as a Muslim, though I am a Muslim and a Hindu and a Christian and an atheist, everything. Because what I want to be and what I am in a great measure is a contented one. Once again, I will read this paragraph. He is the contented one who gives up longing for what is not got and is even towards what is got, not seeing, that is ignoring, or in other words, not ignoring grief and joy, who does not admire what is not got, enjoys according to desire what is actually got, and is benign in his conduct. Moving on. The wise person should reflect about the path to liberation every moment in the manner of the Shastras, according to the place, convenience, and contact with good people, until he achieves repose in the spirit. A person having repose in the fourth state, that is liberation, and released from the ocean of worldly life, whether he lives or not, be he householder or recluse, has no purpose or meaning in what is done or not done, nor by the delusion of Veda and Smriti. He remains in his pristine condition like the ocean without being churned by the mountain. That is, he is in a transcendental state. When there arises the pure realization of all as the spirit, then shines the body in the form of the consciousness beyond origin, space, and time. The visible cosmos of unmoving and moving things melts away like dream in a dreamless sleep. The wise people have attributed for empirical purposes names for the Supreme Being such as Rita, Rita Atma, Parabrahma, Truth, etc. Just as armlets, etc. are only words and meanings not different from gold, so also is the magical illusion of the cosmos extended by the Supreme Being. The perceived being inside the visible world is called bondage. In the absence of the visible, he is realized. What is called the visible is the projection, like the universe is you and I. The universe is you and I. The illusion of the world is spread only by the mind. As long as it happens, there is no liberation. The cosmos is spread through the mind by the self-born Supreme Being. So the visible cosmos is mental in nature. There is no real mind. It is only the flash of things. Know the mind to be only ideation. Understand that where there is ideation, there is mind. Mind and ideation are never different. When the mass of ideations slips away, only the pristine nature remains. When the excitement of the visible, namely, I and you are the cosmos, dies down, only the soul condition, which is the pristineness, remains. Now what I've done is that I have also transcreated some of the verses in my own poetry, some in Urdu, some in Hindi, some in English. So I'll be reading those as well. What I see from it, what I understand from it, what I know from it. Jahan. Jahan means the universe, the world, the cosmos, everything that there is. Jahan hi tum ho, main hoon. Jahan hi tum ho, main hoon. Fana, phir baqa hai. Fana is destruction. Baqa is eternal existence. So these are Sufi terminologies, and the Sufi philosophy is very similar to the Vedanta. Obviously, there was a lot of cross-fertilization. Sufism learned a lot from Vedanta. So, जहाँ ही तुम हो मैं हूँ, फना फिर बका है, जानो के सुकून ही सुकून, जानो के सुकून ही सुकून, सिर्फ जीना ही फिर बचा है, सिर्फ जीना ही फिर बचा है. And I stop here and we'll continue in the next part. Thanks.